So here it is, 2024 Husqvarna TE300 two-stroke street and trail. So gone through the process of getting this bad boy street legal, titled, tagged, all that fun stuff. Dealership, I bought it new. They're taking care of the title and tag stuff. No big deal there in Kentucky anyways. As far as getting her street legal in Kentucky, officially you don't have to have turn signals if a bike was not factory equipped with it, but it's safety. I think it looks more appropriate to have them, and it is a little less pull me over, you know, when they see a dirt bike going down the street. Now, I didn't buy this to commute to work or anything, but a lot of trail systems I ride, you have to get on the road to get to and from. And even some of them are technically old county roads. Never been bothered on them, but I like to stay on the right side of legal as much as I can. So I got the Sicass lighting kit, and it comes with the switch. And when it comes in, I wish I'd have made a video when all this came in, but the whole thing will be connected. The whole harness, front to back, that you need to do to get everything connected up. And I'm not a mechanic, I'm an IT guy, and I was able to figure this out. One thing that was very notable that is different in the 2024s versus all the videos I've seen on the 22, 23 models and older, Husqvarna KTM gas headlight. So this is something super cool. In the TE, even though this is not a factory street legal bike, it has the same headlight as the ones that are. So this has, it's a 3-function LED headlight bulb in here. So by default, it'll have like a DRL, and you'll actually have it like a DRL, a low beam and a high beam without changing the headlight bulb. I think that's something really important to note on these new ones, that you don't have to buy a different bulb to have high beams. If you're gonna have to go through like a state inspection or something, you got to prove all this stuff works. Don't have to do that on these. It works flawlessly. It's a pretty dang good headlight. I took it around the farm here a little bit last night, and it ain't bad. You know, it's pretty decent for a dirt bike headlight. It's better than the headlight on my old BMW F650 by an order of magnitude. So yeah, the Sicass kit, something that I didn't think they noted, location of the horn. This is probably the easiest place to put it. I've seen a lot of people put it over here. I'm not a huge fan about it blocking the radiator a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. The harness is all tech flexed, braided, and they do a pretty darn good job with it. Putting this banjo bolt in with the sensor, if you're on the fence and you're nervous about doing this, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal at all. It's easy. You just take the bolt out, you put the new one in, you get it close to tight, you push down on the brake pedal to get some fluid to squirt out, and tighten her down. It's super easy. I have this wire. It's using this factory zip tie, factory zip tie location here, and then I zip tied it to the motor mount here, and then brought it back. I didn't bring a wrench with me to take the seat off to show you under the seat, but underneath the ECU there's quite a bit of room in there for all your extra wiring, and that's where your factory tail light plug is that your T-harness will connect to. The back here is probably the biggest pain of the whole project, separating this black part from the rest of the fender. It's not hard, but you feel like you're gonna break something. It is what it is. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Getting the turn signals mounted back here. I was pretty happy with how the wiring goes. The license plate mount, you know, it's there. It'll be readable when my real plate comes in and stuff. So, you know, it'll probably get broke off at some point. But, you know, we're trying, right? We're trying to be legal. I did buy these Sicass mirrors. They're cheap. They're like, what are they? $8-10 a piece. I probably would not buy them again. They're pretty cheap. They're basically useless going down the road, and they're so short. All I can see is my shoulders. If I really, you know, move my head around and stuff, I can see a little bit behind me, but they kind of, I'll probably end up getting some double take mirrors with the longer stems at some point. I do like being able to look in the mirrors and see back behind me, but for the sake of getting legal, you know, if you're just, you know, short stints on the road and you're not worried about traffic, you're just back roads and you just want to stay legal, for the price, they get the job done. It's not too bad. Overall, this bike, it's awesome. It's if I can find neutral. I've got 2.6 hours on it so far, and it's fantastic. It's so much power, such linear power. I went on and had a Recluse auto clutch put in day one at the dealer because I'm lazy, and it works so good with the power delivery of this 300cc boost truck. It's in the woods, it is just effortless. I mean, you're just, all you have to think about is staying on it. You don't have to think about anything else. Power is instant, it's all there. You don't have to worry about bogging out. There's a couple other little things I went on and did. Day one, went on, got the Husky branded Sicass Pro End bar end mount bars, handguards. I had the Sicass Pro Bends on my little Yamaha XT250 and I liked them, so it is a few dollars more to get the Husky branded ones that match. Whatever, just well, right? If you're doing up a dream bike, do it up right. Went on and did the Enduro engineering radiator guards and the Enduro engineering skid plate and the linkage guard down there. That's pretty easy install. Maybe not even that necessary. It comes with a little plastic skid plate that really wasn't very flimsy. It was pretty decent. Only thing I've really got left to do to make this bike 100% what I wanted, I have a low seat on order. The dealer ordered it for me, and a extra large gas tank, because I will be dual sport riding this, and range anxiety is going to be a real thing with this bike. She burns some gas. It sips on two-stroke. That I'm not concerned about at all, but gas is going to be a thing. But otherwise, I think this bike is, for an average dude. I'm not going to be racing. I'm going to be trail riding, dual sport riding. I wanted something light, nimble, powerful, hopefully reliable for what they cost. It should be, and unique. I mean, when you ride through the middle of town in this thing, you get compliments and look like at the gas station. People are always, just in the week I've had it, ran into town to get gas, and like 2 people come over. Oh, well, what is that? That's so cool. It's a plated dirt bike, So yeah, this is basically, to me, this is a dream bike setup. Just got a couple little items to dial in. One thing to note, I actually ordered a factory 0.75 lowering link for the back end on this thing, because I'm 5'7", 30-inch inseam. I'm short, stumpy dude. I was terrified of the height of this bike. I mean, to put it in perspective, I mean, just standing next to it, I'm like, the seat's at my hip, which is really intimidating for me. My last bike was a Yamaha XT250, and I have a BMW F650 that's a factory low bike. They both have like 32-inch seat height. Hopping on them is no big deal. I swear, once you just get, if you're worried about seat height, don't worry about it so much. If the bike is light, I was terrified the first few times, but I kick this kickstand up. It's so light, I just lean it over, throw my leg over it, and once you get some weight on it, she squats down. It ain't bad. I mean, I'm still kind of tippy-toeing, but just lean over it on one side. It's light enough. You're not gonna break your ankles coming to a stop at a stop sign because you got to lean over. It's just not as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. When I very first brought this thing home, I did sit on it on the showroom floor at the dealer, and I remember it was high, it's tall. I got home, and the very first time I got on it in the shop, I was like, oh man, have I screwed up? Like, have I made a mistake? A very expensive mistake. No. I've been riding it around in the woods around here, and I've come to complete stops in the woods. You just have to, unlike my little Yamaha where I can just stop anywhere and put my feet down flat, I just have to be a little more aware of where I'm going to stop, and make sure I'm not, try to stick my foot down on the low side. I could do that on the little Yamaha, because even though it's kind of heavy, it's so low, not a big deal. You just have to be careful, just pay attention to what you're doing. I'm sure I'm going to dump it. I haven't dumped it yet, but it's going to happen. So yeah, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about doing up, a proper enduro bike as a dual sport bike, and you're concerned about seat height, I would say don't be so concerned about it. I'm not an experienced rider. I just started riding last July, and I can hop right on this thing, take off down the road, walk through the trails. I've cruised at 55 mile an hour for a short period down the road here. It's okay. It's not a street bike. It's got full knobbies on it still, so it's not, I'll get some dual sport tires at some point, but yeah, that's where it's at. So just, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Be more than glad to answer any questions. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this, but I have had my hands in here and had all the plastics off of it and everything so far. But yeah, fantastic bike. If you're on the fence about getting one, just go on and do it. Especially if you're going to plate it. The days of plating new two-strokes are probably numbered. In the next year or 2, 3, I'll look for them to probably ban that. And that's what a lot of the dealers are saying too. That the future of that is probably numbered. Nothing wrong with new 4-strokes, but man, there's just something about getting on the pipe that it gets your blood going, right? I think that about does it.